Welcome everyone to the SERL Hot Wheels Cup Series Season 2 Race 20 at Cam Valley. This is the first time that this series will head to this 10-turn road course, but we have been here before in the American Ethanol Series Season 1 Race 10, and I can remember that race being a pretty calm race, not a whole lot of cautions, not a whole lot of DNFs, and because pit stops were a thing, there were a couple of different strategies, and by the end of it, Austin Kennedy went on to win that race. Now, he does start towards the tail end of the field, so it's going to take a lot for him to win or even get a good finish. And I think to me, this road course I think is a one-of-a-kind road course. So here is a map of the road course, and uh, overall, there's a lot of like high speed areas of the racetrack, and just overall, you're not really spending a whole lot of time on the brake as opposed to other road courses. And to me, because of I think this track not really lending itself to a lot of, like crashes or cautions, it's kind of hard to pick out a trouble spot to me. But if I have to pick out a couple of trouble spots, I'm gonna keep my eyes on turn 3, turn 4, turn 9, turn 10. I think at those corners with some pretty big elevation changes, which do lead to some blind corners. And with how fast you're entering these corners, I think it really could be a problem, especially at this track where we're gonna see like the whole field going from the bottom to the top, and they'll be doing that over and over and over again. So to me, watch out for those corners. And because I think a road course is just overall, because it's hard to pass in general, I think Bubba Buchanan, who comes into this race as the points leader, is in a pretty good position. He starts inside the top 10, and his closest competitors, uh, Ariana Parks, she starts in the back. Carter Sinclair he actually starts right in front of Bubba Buchanan. Torrin Dieter in the 44, he's still in the picture. Issac Nichols got himself back into the picture after a great performance last week at Coca Cola. And I think Cody Hagan is also still in the picture. And the last driver that is still in the picture is Nick Smith in the 38, who had a really rough day at Coca Cola, getting involved in a late race crash. And overall, Coca Cola, the race had a wild start, and then things calmed down. I think that calm down is really kind of not exactly the best word choice, because to me, towards like I would say that the first part of the race was the Allen Sousa and Cameron Blake show, but then as the race went on, we saw new competitors. We saw Kevin Saunders with a very strong car. Clint Buchanan had a very good car. Kendall Minor had a very good car. But then a last lap pass allowed Allen Sousa to get his first career victory ever in the SERL. And this is the only series he's in. And for a driver that has had a pretty struggling season, I think it was one of the feel-good stories of the season. And we'll just have to see how things go today. I think when you look at the first few drivers, I think that there is a lot of potential for a first-time winner as well. And anyway, now let's get the cars rolling off. And here is the starting lineup, so I'll have to show this very quickly. So Jim Kelly becomes the 20th different pole center in 20 races. Matt Hoshka starts alongside of him, and I think that when you look at the championship picture minus Bubba Buchanan, I think that because he starts closer to the front, Carson Sinclair I think could be the one to gain points. I don't know if we will really be able to say that about anyone else. But anyway, coming off a turn number 10, Jim Kelly and Matt Hoshkis will see the checker flag for the first time in this series at Cam Valley. I like to think of this road course as kind of like a relaxing, like midnight drive, because to me that's what I think this track kind of feels like. It's sort of kind of in like the middle of like the forest. In some ways, this track is a little bit like a highway. But anyway, as I was talking, Matt Hoshkis just took the lead away from Jim Kelly, which to me I think shows about how, just like I said in the previous show, I believe, on some corners this lane will work, on some corners the other lane will not. Anyway, Jim Kelly now falls back a second. Lisa Gonzalez, the two-time winner, who has been steadily climbing her way closer to the top 10 points, is now in third place. Frankie Reed in the 95, who has come super close to winning on a couple of occasions. He's now getting passed by Carter Sinclair. Right behind him is Abe Troxell, a driver who came very close to winning, I think, a few races. The best example I can give you is Texas. Behind him, Bubba Buchanan, Cliff Buchanan are behind him. We got Charles Bellamy and then Carbrian, and I think that rounds off the top 10. But look at this field here. This could get a little hairy. Cliff Buchanan goes a little high, not a little high. He goes a little lower here, and we got a crash. We already have a crash. Daniel Voiles. And it happened just past the start finish line, so chances are I have a feeling that maybe someone did not get going on the start and totally jammed up the field. But anyway, Jim Kelly here at risk of losing second to Lisa Gonzalez. I think this is one of Jim Kelly's best chances to win for a driver that has had a very struggling season. But he's got to be careful right here. They does not get turned. Wrecks can happen anywhere at any time. And anyway, as we come through turn number 9 and turn number 10, and right here, I think at this corner really shows how about how you go from I think those two corners really show how close you go from the bottom lane to the top lane very quickly. But anyway, as it looks like no one is going to have a problem, or actually, is the caution? Never mind, the caution is actually out. Okay, for a second I thought a caution did come out, but let's take a look and see what happened to Daniel Voiles. What happened is that Daniel Voiles here, after heading into turn number 2, which is part of the S's, he gets out of the gas, and then Andrew Gorman couldn't slow down just in time. They hook together. Daniel Voiles goes. He takes a pretty good look into that inside wall, but I don't think that his day will be over. But anyway, actually, just before they came back to take a caution, another incident occurred. This is what actually brought the caution. So, right in front of Allen Sousa, they were 3 wide between Andrew Brandt, Ono Balvin, and Payne Keys. And what happened here is that one of these two drivers slowed down a lot, which really held up the field. I think it was Payne Keys. And Saunders had to get out of the gas right here, and look at this mess all behind Allen Saunders. And right here, watch Dale Scott. Right behind him is Torrin Dieter, and right here you're gonna see Dale Scott actually get hooked by Torrin Dieter actually into the outside wall. Amazing that he did not take out anyone else. But anyway, so Allen Sousa here, he slows up once again, and then here comes Kendall Minor here, deciding to not let fall here and just flat out dumps Allen Saunders. Allen Saunders goes up in the air, and I think he hits a wall. Yes, he did. And so it looks like his day will definitely be over. And now let's go on board some drivers. Andrew Gorman decides to go to the outside of Daniel Voiles, and because Daniel Voiles had to check up, I don't really think that there was a whole lot that Andrew Gorman could have done. Deja vu for Dale Scott. He hits almost in the exact same place as Daniel Voiles. I don't think Allen Saunders needs a replay to know what happened. So here is how the field will restart. So Allen Saunders is out of the race. Daniel Voiles is the last driver on the lead lap. And here is the rest of the field. And Matt Hosh is going to lead us back to the green flag. So right here, the pace car at this point is just an optical illusion. And here comes Jim Kelly. This time he got a much better restart, and now he's all over the bumper. Matt Hosh is maybe looking to make a move. Matt Hosh just got through turn 3 pretty well, and looks like he will do the same with turn number 4. Here comes Jim Kelly right on his heels, and now Frankie Reed is looking to the inside of Lisa Gonzalez, Carter Sinclair, Abe Troxell, Bubba Buchanan, Charles Belling, Buchanan and I think Conner round off the top 10. To the inside of Conor Breeden, or not the inside, to the outside of Conor Breeden is Justin Galapagos. And Justin Galapagos, I think that if he wants to keep his championship hopes alive, which at this point are very slim, he really needs to gain a lot of positions because if you've been watching the past 2 American Ethanol Series races from this weekend and last weekend, you probably saw in the point standings a few drivers towards the end of the points highlighted in red. Well, if your driver is highlighted in red, that means that your driver is mathematically eliminated from winning the championship. And I think that the Hot Wheels Cup Series, which the pace car is still coasting around pit road. But anyway, if you are labeled in the red, if you are in the red in the point standings after this race, that means that you are mathematically out. And it looks like that. And I think after this. And I think after tonight, drivers like Payne Keys, Justin Galapagos, and Jacob Reed could be at the threat of being labeled red. And where is Payne Keys? Payne Keys is still stuck in the rear. Jacob Reed, 19, who had this is a driver that had a very strong start early in the season, but has now fallen all the way back to 4 different points. Currently running mid-pack. He has LJ Mills behind him. LJ Mills, it's kind of the same story for LJ Mills, except that his season has just been horrible in general. Andrew Brandt in the 10, the defending champion, has actually been climbing his way close to the top 10 points the past several weeks, but it doesn't look like he'll do that today. Issac Nichols, who just got himself into the picture. He definitely needs a lot better run than this. Kendall Maynor in the 21. I think that around Kentucky he was actually in the championship picture, but he's really fallen off these past few weeks. And look at this, O'Neal Balvin and Pierce Aviano. These two actually got together last week at Coca Cola Super Speedway. It actually brought the very first caution, I believe, and I think that both of them DNF'd after that crash. And look at this, they're now together once again, 18th and 19th. I think Bubba Buchanan has actually slowed back just a bit since the restart. And Carter Sinclair, he's trying to go forward. The way things are right now, I think it would be Bubba Buchanan over. I think that it would be Bubba Buchanan over 8 points over Carter Sinclair. The way things stand right now. And in the meantime, Matt Hotchkiss, he is just pulling away. Look at that. It was 0.3 of a second the last lap. Now it's just over a second this time. So Matt Hotchkiss is definitely looking like the one to beat. As now we are past halfway. And towards the back of the field, Daniel Wells, he's trying to make up spots, but I think that damage is really hurting him. You can see the damage on the left side of his car. As Donnie Mills gets out of the throttle, Dale Scott hit the wall. I think that damage probably is hurting him as well. Cameron Blake in the 62, a driver that was just so great. It came super close to winning that race. He's not really going anywhere. It's just super hard to pass right here, and I think that no matter how good you are at the road courses, it's just hard to pass. So depending on where you qualify it really is. I think that depending on where you qualify, you're going to fish around the area. And look at this, Austin Kennedy, the American Ethanol Series winner, and has had a pretty solid season, 12 in points entering this weekend. So it really just shows that. So it really just shows about how qualifying on how qualifying is just super important. But anyway, so. Garrett Sinor in the 16, Eric Almacher in the 15, Ariana Parks in the 5. It looked like that she's currently second in points entering this weekend, but it looks like that with this performance, it's definitely going to hurt her. But anyway, I just noticed on the right of the screen, Bubba Buchanan actually lost a spot, so this is not good. He cannot afford to give up any positions. Charles Bellinger here trying to go somewhere. And this is a driver that has had an up and down season, but it's mostly been a pretty struggling season. And one Atlanta really has not had too much luck. Has really not had too much luck since then. And to me, I really just think that it's maybe not as common as you think. It may not be as common as you think it is when it comes to drivers that can win at one type of racetrack. They really just cannot. They're really just not that. They're just not able to really always translate that success to the next track that is exactly the same. So for example, Charles Bolden, he won at Atlanta, but to me it seems like he's just not. He just doesn't seem to have the skill to really take that to Texas or Charlotte. And to me, I think that applies for road courses. I'm trying to think back to the road courses we've had this season. I'm really having a hard time remembering anyone who has been very consistent at road courses. And anyway, Matt Hotchkiss, who has yet to win the season and has had a pretty struggling season, just looking for his first career win. He won last season, and it was, I think, season 1 race. I don't know, like season 1 race 20 something. I think it was around race 20, and it was at Trenton. Trenton is not on the schedule this season, but overall, I think that Matt Hotchkiss, I think he might have had a better season last season, but he's really just kind of one of those drivers who really. I don't think Matt Hotchkiss makes that much of a mark week to week as opposed to other drivers, but looks like that he is definitely making making a name for himself, and he's getting ever so closer to lifting that trophy in the air. Jim Kelly 2 seconds behind. It looks like that. This is definitely this is definitely a much this is definitely this race. Jim Kelly's performance is definitely an improvement over most of the season, but it just does not look like that unless we can have another caution. Like right now, he's going to have any shot. He's not going to have any shot of winning this race. Carter Sinclair has now he's in 3rd place, but it looks like that he's not having the easiest time really in Jim Kelly. And meanwhile, let's take a look at the margin this time. It keeps on getting bigger and bigger as the laps go on by. Look, more than half a second. And with how big of a road course this is, lap traffic. There's no worries for lap traffic. And it looks like Matt Hotchkiss, he's just gonna pull away with this. So, as we go back to the field, any battles? Well, here's a couple battles. Are just outside the top 10. Cameron Garlington in the 6th, a driver that has had a pretty struggling season, 25th in points. Right ahead of him is Luke Walker in the 42. Darn it, he won at Kansas, and he's actually done a pretty nice job this season in this series. He is 10th in points entering this weekend. Right behind these two is Dean Orton in the 4, a driver that really in this series, I've talked a lot about him in the American Ethanol Series because he's been atop of the points almost. He's been around 1st place in points around the whole entire season, but this season it's just a really big struggle. Connor Braden in the 47. This is a driver that I also think really has not been talked a whole lot. I don't think that he's really been talked about a whole lot this season. Bubba Buchanan now is back in 8th place instead of 9th, which is the worst place he's been in all day long. Jim Kelly did actually gain a little bit of ground on Matt Hotchkiss that last lap, but it's still not enough. And it looks like the way things stand, it looks like this race is only going to have 1 caution, and it came out on lap 2 when Aiden Saunders just got flat out. He just got flat out dumped by Kendall Minor, and it caused him to go into the grass and actually over a hill, which causes his car to have all 4 wheels off the ground and just slams into that outside wall. But anyway, as we now just have 2 more laps to go, what is the margin this time? Oh my goodness! Almost a full second over Jim Kelly. That is how much it was gaining. And look at this. You can't even really see Jim Kelly anywhere near our cameras. and looks like that. As this race comes to a close, it looks like that the two biggest winners are going to be Bubba Buchanan and Car Sinclair. As far as other drivers, Cody Hagan might actually pass Torrin Dieter and Issac Nichols in the point standings because he is ahead of them. But Ariana Parks, Torrin Dieter and Issac Nichols really not having the days that they wanted or needed. And to me, I know that sometimes, such as super speedways, your qualifying position doesn't always matter. But to me, really, I think at most tracks, depending on where you qualify, is where you're going to finish, unless you get taken out in a wreck. And anyway, as we are on the white flag lap, final lap to go. And as we go through the rest of the field, so yeah, it looks like only 41 drivers are going to be able to finish this race, and Sonner is the only driver that will not finish this race because of the crash that I just talked about. And that's pretty much about it. As we now head on to the backstretch, and down into turn 8, and here we go. We just have 2 more corners, turns 9 and 10. This section of the racetrack is called the kink. And here we go, down into turns 9 and 10. Matt Hotchkiss has nothing to worry about. He comes out of turn number 4, not turn number 4, he comes out of turn number 10, and he will win at Cam Valley. And that is that race. Like I said in the previous show, I had a feeling that this race would be a calm race, and it was. And because this race was 5 laps shorter than the American Ethanol Series race, it's also going to be a shorter race. And anyway, here is the finishing result. So our top 10: Matt Hotchkiss, Jim Kelly, Car Sinclair, Lisa Gonzalez, Abe Troxell, Frankie Reed, Clint Buchanan, Bubba Buchanan, Charles Belling, Justin Talabas. The biggest winners in the point standings. Car Sinclair and Bubba Buchanan, as I mentioned, they came into this race first and third in points. And looks like that it will now be first, and it looks like that they'll now be first and second points. But Bubba Buchanan's points lead over Car Sinclair is going to be a little bit more shorter because Car Sinclair finished a couple of positions ahead of Bubba Buchanan. Lisa Gonzalez with that 4th place finish, I think that she'll get herself into the top 10 points, which for a driver that was, I think, around 40 places in points after the first few races, it's definitely one of the biggest comebacks I can recall seeing. And some of the biggest losers in the points, well, drivers like Ariana Parks, Issac Nichols, and Cody Hagan. Really not the days that they need at all, and now it's going to be even harder for those drivers to win the championship. And definitely a disappointment, in my opinion, for Austin Kennedy, who won the American Ethanol Series race. But that's about it for Cam Valley. Next week, I don't remember where the Hot Wheels Cup Series and American Ethanol Series go to. I know that Talladega and Dover are coming up. But neither of those tracks are on the schedule for next week. I know that the Domino's Pizza Truck Series goes to Lucas Oil, which will be the final night race and final short track for that series. So if you like some short track racing, definitely watch out. Definitely tune in for that race. And anyway, I would like to thank everyone for watching this race. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe, and bye. Congrats to Matt Hotchkiss on your first win in the season and second win in your career, I believe.